Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of August 24th through the 30th. During that time, we'll have a waxing crescent moon, and that's a really good time of heightened senses, time when we can really just focus and buckle down, get to work on the things that we've just started, the projects that we maybe started during the new moon. But it's just a really good time of just good focus to get work done, get things done. So keep those energies in mind as you move through your week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter this week besides the moon energies. So, of course, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is work through your fears. All right, let's see what the Taurus Collective has going on for this week. All right, card. Want to come with me here? As I'm shuffling the tarot, my weekly reminder is that you learn something new this week because we have that waxing crescent energy and it is a good time of focus. It's a good time to pick a topic that maybe you've had some interest in and time to really do a deep dive on it. Sometimes as adults we forget to not to learn. There are certain signs that, of course, are into, and I love learning things every day, but to really deep dive on something, that's something I have to really tell myself to do or focus on and spend a couple hours on, if that makes any sense. So that's just my weekly reminder. Take a couple hours for yourself, study, take some notes, and just really absorb and think about the thing that you're working on and learning. So, all right, Taurus, without further ado, let's get into this reading, August 24th through the 30th. Work through your fears. All right. Overall energy. Present energy is the King of Pentacles. So, are you working through fears that are about material things, finances? This could be, maybe your housing situation, but it looks like you've got some knowledge about the thing that you're working on right now. Our kings are definitely at the height of knowledge of their element. So, the king understands how money works, and not only for themselves, but kind of how it works in the world and through, their constituency, the people in their realm, in their kingdom. This would be people that you work with, people in your family. You just kind of understand how not only how you manage the material world, but how other people around you are able to kind of see something that maybe others are not able to see. What is your current situation is some sort of collaboration here with the Three of Pentacles. So, this could be some new collaboration for you in the material realm. Are you building something? I get the feeling maybe some of you are working at maybe building a house. Some of you are building a business. Some of you are building an investment portfolio. Some of you are just building something in the creative realm that's going to come through and make some money at some point. But this is definitely, about collaborating, and maybe you have some fears there. This might be a new collaboration for you, and these are fears that you have to work through when you're working on either something that you've never worked on before or working with new people that you haven't worked with before. So let's see what fears might arise out of that. At the root of your situation is, Page of Pentacles. This is a new path for you. And again, if you've never built a house before, then of course that's a new path. If you've never built a business before, that's a new path for you. But it's some sort of new path here, definitely about the material world. So either finances or something solid in the material world. In your recent past is the Queen of Swords. So you come into this entire situation with you kind of knowing what you want. The Queen of Swords, she doesn't mess around. She says what's on her mind. She's got her hand out there. She's telling you, here's exactly how I feel. She's also very logical, but she's very sharp tongued. And when she has an opinion, she has no problem saying it. So you're coming in with that sort of energy that you kind of know what you want out of this situation, whatever it might be for you. You've done the thinking through it, and you know what you want. And again, maybe you've got a few of these little fears just kind of chipping away at you, and those fears might involve others. It's not that you don't know what you want, but your fear is that others going to be able to execute properly the thing that you want, if that makes sense. What is on your mind this week is the moon. So what's on your mind, or are there things hidden from you that maybe are causing these fear? Maybe you feel like everybody is not being completely transparent. Um, And of course that would make you fear some things. And this could be, hidden costs. Let's say, let's just go with building a house as the example for this. Tarot is a template. So again, this could be anything. This could be building a house, building a business, building some investments, building, just any new thing, and you're buying a car. I mean, just anything new that is new to you. And what's on your mind is you're kind of thinking, and very logically, you're coming into this with logic, but you're kind of thinking, what is hidden from me? What are the hidden costs? What are they not telling me? And that is kind of, if you're working through fears, that is a fear, and it's very real. I mean, you want to make sure that you're asking all of the right questions, getting all of the right information so that you can make the best choices, decisions, and that thing. But I feel like you're whatever this is you kind of have that feeling that you don't know all the information, that something you just like, something doesn't seem quite right here. And of course, if that's the case, then you just need to ask more questions, and don't sign anything, don't do anything until you feel confident that everything is laid in front of you and that those fears have been quelled. That's any sales situation, any, purchasing situation. If you've got that little doubt, you have to get that worked out before you feel confident doing it. And I don't blame you. That's exactly how I would handle that myself. What is just ahead of you is the Ace of Swords. So, some sort of aha moment or mental breakthrough, or this could also be a communication breakthrough. So, again, you're dealing with other people. And again, it's about asking those questions. And maybe that is your communication breakthrough. Maybe you're you know not comfortable asking certain questions, and you need to just take a breath and say, okay, this might be uncomfortable, but I need to know this bit of information before I'm going to feel comfortable with this. So in your advice position, more swords is some indecision. So maybe don't make a decision until you have that information. There is something I feel like that I don't even feel, you feel like you feel like there's something hidden from you. And until you get to the root of that, don't make a decision. And it's fine to sit in this indecision. This is you in very calm emotional waters, just saying, not comfortable yet, not signing the paperwork yet, not handing you my cash yet, not, take a breath. Any decision like this, especially if it's something this big, I feel like this is not, this isn't like buying a toaster. This is something a little bit bigger for you. This is either a big purchase, a big financial decision. This is something, again, on the level of building a house, building a business. You should not make decisions until you're comfortable. And so your advice is to maybe let's not make that decision just quite yet. You might need more information. What is beyond your control this week is the Magician. Interesting. So the Magician is here to say, how do you want to proceed? How and in which way? And if you can choose any of those elements, and it's beyond your control to really have to reach and take one of the elements and say, okay, I choose the sword because I want to ask questions, and I want to break through this fear of asking the right questions or making sure I have all the information. So you get to choose your element this week, and that's beyond your control. And that's awesome. I like that. Your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is of course, you're trying to avoid making the wrong decision with the Tower. You're trying to avoid a big disruption, a big obstacle, this is something that is a delay, something that it's a tower. It's something that's going to disrupt your life. It's like a rude away, and you don't. And of course, you're trying to avoid that. I would be trying to avoid that too. I think we all are. So, and if this indecision, if this lack of deciding this week helps you avoid that, then that's great. That's what you need. That's what you're trying to do. In your outcome position is, a little bit dissatisfied, and you may be dissatisfied with the information that you're getting, and of course, that's going to delay this decision. This plays out so well as a story here that it's just everything is saying, don't make a decision yet. It's just not time. It's not time. You need more information. You're going to end up the week being a little bit dissatisfied with the information that you're getting because you still feel like there's something hidden from you. So what's being hidden from you? And as you're going to work through these fears, anything that the universe presents us with, I do feel like, is just our little personal lesson. And think about, take the time to think about a time in your life when maybe you've come up against something very familiar to this before? And how did that work out for you? How did you work through it? And you're going to kind of take those elements and apply it to this. But I'm going to say, we're not making a decision this week. You don't have enough information. You're going to feel a little bit dissatisfied by the end of the week because you still feel like there's something hidden from you. And if you feel like that, go with it. You're trying to avoid a big disruption. What is hidden from you this week is the Two of Wands. So, what's hidden from you is really your ability to see what's ahead of you. And I completely understand it because you feel like you don't have all the information. So, very interesting. We now do have two twos on the table, is what I was trying to say. So, you might want to look up angel number 22, see if that has any significance to your situation, Taurus, for this week, because it very well may. So, I'm going to say, do not make a decision this week. Just keep collecting information until you feel satisfied, until you can turn this card of dissatisfaction into feeling like, oh, okay, I feel like everything, I want to see in next week's reading for you. I'd like to see, brighter cards like the sun, the Wheel of Fortune card, the World card, Temperance. I'd like to see those sorts of cards come out for you next week, maybe even the Strength card, where you have overcome this, and I almost want to say that you want to go ahead with this because it's uncomfortable to not go ahead with this at this point. Like, it's uncomfortable. And if that's like a pressure sales thing that someone's making you feel uncomfortable, like, they're telling you, well, duh, obviously you want to sign this because it's a great deal and da 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 da, that kind of pressure sales situation, that, yeah, it feels uncomfortable. And if you feel like you don't have all the information, sometimes saying no to those people, that's really hard to do. And like I said, if you have a situation in your past where you said yes, and afterwards, you kind of had that buyer's remorse, you're like, why did I say yes? Why did I let that person pressure me? Remember that, because it's just, you're being confronted with it again until you learn that lesson. So, all right, Soul Oracle deck for Taurus. We have got quietly serve. Quietly serve. So, yeah, I'm going to say you do need to speak up, but it might just be speaking up to, your spouse, your family, someone around you that's, like, you want to talk to other people about the situation, and maybe not, you want to be quiet to maybe the person that's presenting the situation to you, like to the salesman, right? You're not going to show them all of your cards because you don't feel like they're showing you all of their cards. So let me grab a drink of coffee here. Also, that card said quietly serve, but something in me said speak up right there. Anytime I get like a little frog in my throat when I'm doing a reading, I feel like that is my sign to tell you that you do need to speak up. So that's a kind of a mixed message there, but some of you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, your self-care card for this week, Taurus, and there's that frog back again. Change course. Okay, a closed door is an invitation from life to move in an even better direction. It's time to change course. So, does that mean saying no quietly as you work through your fears? Saying no to something is going to change your course to something better? Could be. I mean, that's what this card is definitely saying. To move you in an even better direction, it's time to change course. So, really take a look at whatever's being offered to you this week in this manner, and realize that, you do feel like there's things hidden from you, and you need to find out what those things are. So read the fine print. If you need to get someone more knowledgeable than you involved. I mean, this could be a situation where you need to get a lawyer involved or something to read some sort of fine print. That there's something there. You get the feeling there's something there, and you haven't quite uncovered it yet. So, I don't think you're going to make a decision this week, and you're not going to be satisfied this week that you have all the information, and that's just the way it goes. So, Taurus, I really appreciate your time here with me today. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use for your week. Of course, drop me a message down below. Let me know, is there some big deal or some big thing that you're contemplating, some big purchase you're making, or big change with your job, or a business or something, but drop me a message down below. Let me know. All of you Taurines can compare notes on how you're handling some of these things. So you can drop me a message and let me know. Also, I do readings every week, so come back next week and we'll see again if this changes. I would love to see more positive cards for you next week and see how you manage the situation. I'll be very curious to see that. Also, if you like my reading style, of course, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel and helps me so much, kind of pushes me in the algorithm, and I appreciate that so, so much. But more importantly, Taurus, it'll help you find me next week, and we'll see where the story goes. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.